What's that? Who's there? I can't see anything. Going through a bit of a hair-raising experience. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. Welcome in, everyone. We're about to do a review of the games that I beat in 2025. Go through it just really quickly. The date I beat them, the game, the console. Might mention the type of game it is, if I'd play it again, if I would beat it again, and any thoughts that come to mind. So I'm going to pull up a spreadsheet, throw it up on the screen. I'll be in a little box and over here, and we'll run through these. You can see a bunch on this list already. Hopefully not too much of it is cut off from the camera. But the first game I beat last year was a game that I played with the Munchkin, and that was Skylanders Imaginator on the Xbox One. And that was January 20th. And it's an action game, but also toys to life. I think I would beat it again. Sorry, I would play it again, and I might beat it again. But I'd do it, definitely do it co-op. They're fun. They're fun co-op games, especially to play with your child or nieces and or nephews. There's a lot of stuff to unlock, so there's a lot of replayability. Biggest gripe with any of the Skylanders games is that they're so targeted towards kids that there's a lot of stuff that you don't need to be told repeatedly, but you can't skip it. But it's a fun game. Actually, I really wish that since Microsoft owns Activision now, that they would release a digital version of the Skylander games and include all of the figures. That would be awesome. And make it so if you had Skylanders and Skylanders Giants, then you could use all the characters from the Skylanders game in Giants as well as the stuff in Giants, and continue that on through all of the games. I think that would be really cool. The only problem would probably be some of the figures from you couldn't use Donkey Kong or Bowser because those were two that were included on the was it the Wii U version of the games? Chargers, Skylanders Chargers or something. I forget. But next game, which was actually my pick for like my favorite game that I beat in 2025, is Satisfactory. And that's a PC game. It's a factory simulator. I beat that on the 22nd of January, just a couple of days later. Play again? Yes. I mean, I've already started a new game and gone through it and made a mess of things. I'll try to include some footage right here. And beat it again is maybe. It's fun just to keep building on and see if you can maximize and get everything running at the same time. Energy is always a problem. But it's an enjoyable grind, and you just keep building and getting better and better stuff to make stuff quicker and then make new things. It's a lot of fun. Next game is Shining Force Resurrection of the Dark Dragon. I beat that on the Game Boy Advance. It's an RPG tactical game. Love Shining Force on the Sega Genesis, Shining in the Darkness. I think those are both great games. And I hadn't played. I'd owned the Game Boy Advance version, but I hadn't beat it. And the Cartridge Club game of the month was Shining Force Resurrection of the Dark Dragon. It was just Shining Force, but you could play either version. And so I played that one. But I beat that on the 30th of January. I had to beat it, before the end of the month. But I'd play it again, and I would probably beat it again. I have a lot of nostalgia for Shining Force. But they added a couple extra levels, characters, and a card system. And cards, but the card system works for one of the characters. It's kind of interesting. But it has some nice quality of life improvements from the original, like experience points carrying over to the next level, a little bit more space for items. But yeah, it's a really fun game. If you like tactical RPGs, it's turn-based, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Next game is another game from the Game Boy Advance that I beat, and that is Fantastic Four Flame On. Beat that February 9th. It was fun to start with, but it got really repetitive and kind of just irritating towards the end because you're doing a lot of the same stuff, and not just the regular fights, but just trying to find the little crystal or gem to end the game, that level sometimes, and it overstayed its welcome. If it had been half as long, or if they had added in some more variety in the game, I think it would have been a lot better. And that's one that actually I don't know if I got rid of it, but I think I'm going to get rid of that one. These next two are Xbox games. Mars 2120 on the Xbox One and Mobius Machine on the series. Both Metroidvania. I beat 2120 on the 25th of February and the Mobius Machine on the 17th of February. I might play both of them again, and I think I'd be more inclined to try to beat Mobius Machine again. I actually would like to play it again if I get some time. But with Mobius Machine, the bosses are bullet sponges, which is not super uncommon for Metroidvania style games, but sometimes it's just like a little bit too much. But like you can't take many hits because you'll die pretty quickly. But enjoyed that one. Like I said, I'd play that one again. 2120, it seemed a bit clunky. The map system, like I wish there was a little bit more to it. There was a melee system that I didn't use. I don't know if they were just trying to copy Dread or I don't know. But backtracking was a little annoying on that one. Mobius Machine, you were able to fast travel to points. But yeah, they were both fun. Glad I played them. Happy that I beat them. The next game I beat was Cloudmaster for the Master System. It's a shooter. Beat that on the 26th of February. I'd play it again. It's a fun little shooter, cute 'em up. It's interesting because some of the enemies are like you get rice bowls as an enemy. It's interesting. You got monkeys that are flinging stuff at you. You can guess what that was. But yeah, it's a fun little game. I think they released an updated version of it recently. I got it on Steam. Haven't beat that one yet, but yeah, that was a good one to beat on the Master System. It's one that I wanted to beat for a while. Next up, it's another Sega system, but it's on the Genesis. That's Captain America and the Avengers. Loved playing the arcade as a kid. Never had enough money to beat it. We got close. We got to Red Skull, but we never beat the game. And the Genesis version is so much better than the SNES version. A lot more playable and enjoyable. I remember we rented, my brother had a Super Nintendo, and we rented the Super Nintendo version, and we had a very unhappy reaction when we plugged in the SNES version, turned it on, and started playing. It's like, oh my gosh, this is worse. We were expecting at least on par or better, and it wasn't. But I'd play it again. I'd beat it again. And again, it's always, America still needs your help. And Avengers Assemble! So much fun. It's just a fun beat 'em up. Next is Battle Maniacs. It's another beat 'em up. It's a Brazilian game for the Master System. I don't know if I said Captain America I beat on the 26th of February as well. Battle Maniacs I beat March 11th. And it's a fun game. It was frustrating at times. It's got turbo tunnel. It's got a snake level, and you're going to spend a lot of time playing through those ones. I haven't played any of the other Battletoads games, so that was my experience with it. I had fun. I might play it again. I might beat it again. Since I'm doing the Sega Master System 40th anniversary 40 game challenge, or at least 40 games, I should say, because if I'm having fun, I'm not going to stop at 40. But yeah, it's a fun game. If you've got a Master System or you've got some way of playing it, check it out if you're a fan of the Battletoads. Next game is also another beat 'em up. Apparently with their little beat 'em up phase. But I played this with Saiyan on. We played it on Switch Online, but it's a Genesis game. We beat it April 16th. Is Streets of Rage, the original Streets of Rage. It's Streets of Rage. If you're not familiar with Streets of Rage, you must not like beat 'em ups because that's a classic beat 'em up. Only followed I think by the second game, Streets of Rage 2, which is such an improvement on the first one. I'd play it again, maybe try to beat it. It's just a really fun beat 'em up. The thing is, if you're playing co-op, watch out for the friendly hits or the friendly fists because they're gonna catch you. Mostly, you're gonna get grabbed and then you got to get out of it before the bad guys start smacking you both around. And this next game, like, it's actually in a box of games to get sold. It's on the Switch. It's action adventure. I think either people love it or hate it, and I did not care for it at all. It's Zelda Skyward Sword. And I played with just regular controls. I didn't use any of the motion control stuff because I didn't want to wiggle and waggle, all around with the sword. But I beat that April 18th. And that was another game I beat for Cartridge Club, and wanted to get that one beaten. I was on the podcast that they did, but there was so much time, just so much hand holding and walking you through things, and again, you can't skip some of it, so it just makes it worse. But it just slowed the game down a lot, and I did not care for the flying sections. It just dragged on way too much for me. I say I like Wind Waker, but I haven't played Wind Waker in probably close to 20 years, so I need to go back and give that a shot one of these days. The next one is another one I played with Saiyan on the Genesis, another beat 'em up, and that we beat, and it's Alien Storm. It's tough, but it's plenty fun. But if you want, I think it's more of a challenge than Streets of Rage. But yeah, it's just, I thought it was really good. I don't think Saiyan enjoyed it much, but like I said, I think it's just a great game. It's a lot of fun, and it's well worth playing through it. And co-op, co-op's always great to do. Let's see. Let's scroll up some. Because next is Phantasy Star. I believe I started that in April, but I didn't finish it until May. So May 20th, Master System. It's an RPG. Play it again, beat it again? Yes. I'm planning on playing it again this April, and hopefully I'll play and beat it in April. But the quality of life improvements in the Switch, in the Sega Ages version on the Switch, it's just great. Like, it just makes the game so much more enjoyable, especially when it'll, I don't know how many times I've beat it now. We'll say 7 or 8. And it just makes it so cool. And if you want, you can have FM sound, and you can play the Mark III version. The ability to have a little bit less of a grind is nice, so you're not spending so much time just running around. But when I play it in April, I'm planning on getting the characters high enough so that I can beat the Succubus dream that you're not supposed to be able to beat, because the first time I played it, I got lost so badly wandering around trying to figure out what to do. I was a high enough level that took that guy out and got that. I think it was only 10 experience points. You want to talk about a letdown? Goodness. But next up is Space Marine. I bought that for the Xbox Series. I'd play it again. I'd beat it again. And I'd actually like to play a little bit more online. But I think I enjoyed the first one more. I think the story and the gameplay was a little bit more enjoyable, and the controls were a little bit more enjoyable on the 360 where I originally played it. But I beat that May 23rd, and it's an action third-person shooter. Lots of fun, squash some green skins or some Xeno. But hopefully I'll get some time to play online with that some this year, or I'll pick up the remake they did of Space Marine and play some of that online after I finish playing through the campaign again. But I enjoyed the first one enough that I beat it on the 360 and I beat it on the PC and bought it for both. So must have been a good game. All right, next we've got a couple movie tie-in games. Beat both of these in May, the 24th and the 30th. It's open season and over the hedge, little action adventure games. They get tiresome quickly, and they're not usually the best quality. They're kind of thrown together to try to at that time they were trying to just make them, release them around the same time as the movie, and didn't matter how much stuff it could have been improved if they just waited a little bit longer. But yeah, I would not play them again. I would not beat them again. Neither one of those. And I got rid of both of them. And when I went to Segan, did the trading, and there's another one of those coming up that I did as well. But the next game I beat, which I've been playing since I got it, and got a GameCube and the bongos, is Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. Beat that June 24th. It's a rhythm game. It's bongo slapping fun. I'd play it again. I'd beat it again. And I'd like to go back and actually try to get better on some of those levels. Get more bananas, but that's one of those things. Like, are you going to go back to replay some of these games, or are you going to play some of the games that you got in your backlog? So, if I would play it again, it probably wouldn't be very much, but it's a fun game. Well worth the time. Just get used to clapping your hands together. Just a lot of fun. So it's I like using stuff with the odd controllers, and you're playing with bongo drums. I mean, I'm not sure how much odder it gets than that. But the next game is another GameCube game. This was when I was trying to go through and sort through the games that I was going to let go and get out of the collection. Was Monsters Inc. Arena. And it's a party game. I beat this one the end of June on the 28th. An action game, but like I said, a party game as well. But no, I wouldn't play it again. I wouldn't beat it. A lot of it's kind of like a dodgeball game, and I could see it being fun for a little bit if you had people over for a game night, and you had at least 4 people that were able to play. And like I said, I think they could have some fun. You pick up stuff and you throw it at each other, and you do it enough times and they get knocked out. You survive long enough and you win. That's kind of it. But that one is one that went as well. Didn't keep it in the collection. Thankfully, it's gone. Bye-bye. Next up is Aladdin for the Sega Master System. I'm not sure why. I may have just wanted to play it. I'm guessing I did, because I beat it previously, but I'd still play it again and I'd beat it again. It's a really fun game. It's kind of like an early Prince of Persia style game. There's a lot of jumping over stuff and just going left to right, auto-scrolling. But there's also levels that you control the prince or Aladdin, and have to time jumps and throw rocks at things, solve puzzles. But it's not a long game. But like I said, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun game, quick game, and I think it's one that doesn't get talked about enough for the Master System, and that's Aladdin. So next up, we're jumping into August, is Warhammer Chaos Bane. Beat that August 7th, and that was for the Xbox One. It's an action RPG. I'd play it again and I would beat it again, and I did. I went through and I played through it with 3 different characters, and start to finish ran through it. The first time I did it mostly on a higher difficulty level so I could get better loot and stuff, and enjoyed it enough that I just went through and ran through it with another one, and I wouldn't mind going back and doing it again. Next in August is Sacred Citadel. Beat that on the 11th. That's an Xbox 360 game. It's a little RPG beat 'em up. I might play it again. It's a fun enough side-scrolling beat 'em up with RPG elements. It's it's not that long. I believe I beat it in a Sunday afternoon or sometime when I wasn't feeling all that great. Um, but it's plenty fun. You upgrade your weapons and whatnot as you're playing. So it's kind of like an action RPG beat 'em up. But I enjoyed some of the sacred games. So when I picked up Citadels, it was probably for $5, and I think it was worth it. And glad to have finally beat it. It's one more game on the 360 that I have digitally that I was able to beat. Next up is Dungeon Explorer for the Sega CD. Beat that on September 16th. It's a action RPG. I might play it again, but beating it again, oh my gosh, beating it was tiresome. It was fun at the beginning, but the grind of getting to where you needed to go was painful because you go through the dungeon, you make it to the boss, you die. Well, you go all the way back, you lose everything that you got. So outside of the experience in here that you gain, you lost all the other experience and items and everything else. And maybe you can get through it a little bit quicker the next time you play it. But the final boss was a huge bullet sponge. Um, I was having so much trouble with it that I got Prin to help out, and we leveled up another character for her, and got them maxed out with their equipment, and struggled through it. I think it took us 3 or 4 attempts, and then the final time when we got to him and beat the final boss, it was really weird because like you would attack certain parts of it and it looked like you were doing damage, but I don't think you were actually doing any damage. You had to take out specific things first, and like didn't seem to be a good indication of that. And I just wish it had been a little bit more clear with that. But yeah, it's fun enough at the beginning, but the grind's gonna get very rough and tiresome. Next up is Jurassic Park for the Game Gear. Beat that November 30th. Month in between beating games. Ooh. But it's an action game. It's a fun side scroller. There's some nice level variety. You've got different weapons that you can select from. So depending on what dinosaurs you're trying to make leave you alone, and the boss fights are a little interesting. But so I'd play it again and I'd beat it again. I think it's another one of those Master System / Game Gear games that needs more attention than it gets. And sadly, that version was not included in the Jurassic Park collection they did last year, 2 years ago, a little while ago. But it's a really good game. If you have a way of playing it, I would just suggest you check it out. Because at first you have an overhead map and you select one of 4 areas, and then there's a side-scrolling level where you're in the vehicle and you're trying to protect it. So it's moving on the screen and you're trying to protect it from dinosaurs and stuff that are coming out at it. And some of them drop pickups that will either give you extra life or heal you, give you full fuel for your vehicle. But it's a really fun game, well worth checking out. So let's move on to December. Getting towards the end. The last game is Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. Sorry. The first game that I beat in December, Lego Pirates of the Caribbean on the 360. It's another Lego game. If you've played any Lego game, you'd recognize it. Yeah, it's another Lego game, but it has a Pirates of the Caribbean theme. The Lego games are fun enough. Got to play through some of the Jurassic World game with the Munchkin over Christmas. Hopefully we'll put some more time into that soon when she comes home. But it's a play again, beat again. I didn't collect all of the bricks or anything. I don't know if I'm really that worried about it. I think there's still several other Lego games I have to beat. So, but the next one, and this is more of a completion. But December 21st, EDF 2025, I 100% of the missions. It's 360. It's an action third-person shooter. Definitely play again. I played a couple times after that. I actually had to I uninstalled it from the Xbox so that I would go on and play something else, which allowed me to beat one more game, but also on the Xbox Series. But there's 5 difficulties, there's 4 classes, and there's 94 missions. So you do those 94 missions basically 20 times, so that you can get 100% for all the missions. I was super excited when I got that. Super excited when I got to 70%, because at 70% you can turn off the weapon and armor limit, so you can go back to the earlier difficulties and levels and not have to worry about swapping your weapons to be level and difficulty appropriate. I mean, some levels are just really nice to go back and just decimate everything quickly and be like, we're done, moving on. And the last and final game that I beat was Sonic Frontier. And beat that the day after Christmas. I've been working on it off and on in December in between EDF. Because EDF was it 15? I think it was 15 years old. I think it came out in 2010, or is it 2014? 11, 15 years old. There's not always a lot of people online playing it, and so I would look and see, or start a room and try to do a few levels, and if people joined in, I'd play for a while. If not, I might jump out and then jump into Sonic Frontier. I beat that on the 26th. It's an action platformer. I wouldn't mind going back and playing it some more. I don't know if I'd beat it again. I did run into some camera glitches, or camera issues and glitches, and that really was frustrating, because at the time it's like, and it happened in some locations or similar locations several times. Like the camera would whip around, or it wouldn't whip around, and just, oh my goodness. But I think that might be the best 3D Sonic game that Sega's made so far. Something I don't understand why they do this is, like, some of the side-scrolling levels, like the original Sonic, you cannot use the D-pad. And for me, that just seems crazy. If you have a side-scrolling level, like original Sonic, you need to be able to use the D-pad. Like, my finger would automatically go down to the D-pad on the Xbox controller to try to use it. And even as I was going through the game, like, oh no, I can't do that. But had a lot of fun with it for the most part. The bosses, I mean, spoiler alert, really quick. You're supersonic when you fight all the bosses, so it didn't make the bosses really all that difficult. I don't think I had to fight any of them more than once, because you just have to figure out the pattern. I didn't ever upgrade the rings that I could carry, so I'd go in with 400 rings, and I don't think I ever got below 300 on any of them. But that is the last game that I beat for the year. Satisfactory, I'd give like a 9. So, all in all, I beat 26 games. So, 4 Master System games, 1 Sega CD, 1 Game Gear, 3 Genesis or Mega Drive, 2 Game Boy Advance, 4 GameCube, and 1 on the Switch. And then 3 Xbox 360 games, 3 Xbox One games, and 3 Xbox Series games. So, interestingly, for the Sega consoles, I beat 9 games, and the Microsoft consoles, I beat 9 games. And PC, I beat 1. So, grand total of 26 games. That's what I played last year. Love to hear, what were some of your favorite games that you played this year? How many were you able to beat? It'll be interesting, because I'm trying to beat 40 Master System games, and I expect to beat maybe a dozen games on other consoles. So there's a good chance that I will more than double what I've got for, or what I will have beat last year. But the Master System has lots of games that don't really take that long. I should be able to beat Rocky, in 20 or 30 minutes. If I play Jurassic Park, that one won't be long. Submarine Attack's not that long, but they're fun games. Thanks for stopping in, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Appreciate you hanging out. Everybody, take care, have fun, be kind to one another, stay safe, keep it retro or 360, like I did. Plus a little bit of modern stuff. God bless, and we will catch you all later. Fear the beard. Beardy weirdy. Beardy beardy weirdy weirdy. Beardy doody doody doo. No idea if these are straight or how they look. Can't see much of anything through the glasses and the hair, but alright.